Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
Welcome to the Warchant Man Cave Show. We are brought to you by Jimmy John's Freaky Fast and Freaky Good. And I'm joined by Jeff Cameron, ESPN Radio 97.9, buddy.
How are you, brother? Doing all right?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm feeling a little, Clemson sucks, huh?
Oh, man. How about, imagine the pain in their hearts to control that game that way.
We know, I know you're already ready, but I have
ready,
an empty
man.
koozie here, so we need to do something. Caitlin from Corner Pocket is here to take our order. I'm sure you're double-fisted. What would you like?
I'm going to do the, is it the Cafe LA you have it in there?
Yes.
No, let's go that route.
And I think I'm going to go, there's a Cigar City Oktoberfest version.
Very
I'm going to go
nice.
with that.
Very nice.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Corner Pocket, by the way, a lot of good place to go watch college and NFL this weekend.
Fantastic. I frequent it often.
And if you are going to have if you're going to have a game watching at your place, I mean, they deliver at not Corner Pocket, at Jimmy John's.
That's true too.
Bring out a good platter like this right in front of us. And I noticed that platter's already gotten smaller.
Yeah,
already?
Yeah, twice. Yeah.
Wow.
You can't do that. You can't put this right in front of me and then, you know.
Well, at least it's not in front of the unmentionables. And let's mention the unmentionables. Hey guys.
They are. They're doing some things.
We're going to have you guys vote later, so be ready on the best signs, game day signs. But before that, Jeff, we have to talk a little bit about Clemson doing what Clemson does, and that's Clemsoning.
Yeah.
And this was, again, I mean, just your thoughts on that. I mean, part of it's like, it's so great to steal one away from a rival.
You completely stole the game.
But
Clemson outplayed Florida State for the vast majority of this game. But they didn't in certain situations, especially short yardage. You know, I saw the stat that 7 different times on 3rd or 4th down, Clemson had 4 yards or fewer to gain and only did so twice. And, you know, that's winning situations, as Jimbo says. And, you know, they missed kicks. That's also situational. That's special teams. You got to do that. And, God, we couldn't have guessed that Kason Beatty was going to be a real punter. I mean, a lot of things conspired against Clemson in the moment.
And Dabo contributed a little bit, too. When you have a 4th and a foot and you decide to go out of the shotgun and do a slow developing play against a defensive line that's gotten better and better and better.
Well, and how about on the goal line? I mean, you're in shotgun there, which allowed for the snap to go over his head. And, you know, on the previous play, Eddie Goldman had blown up the center. So it's no doubt had a...
And I know why he did it, because Deshaun Watson has never been, he's not comfortable under center. But
you got to find a way.
You bring Cole in there and you go ahead under center and do.
You're not going for style points there,
no,
Gene. You're just trying to get a
half
a yard and get in the end zone. So, but they got a kid that's going to be really good.
Oh, he's going to be a thorn in FSU's
He's a star.
side
There's
for
no
years.
doubt about that. So, but you know what? It's good to get another win, and the dream stays alive.
Jeff, let's think about this. We like the schadenfreude here. I've told you that before. The German, which says the miseries we derive from other people. We derive a lot of enjoyment from Clemson's
That's fandom
miseries.
in general. Well,
but it's your rival, especially. And they're one of FSU's rivals now, let's face it. But I was thinking about this over the last few years. Think about it. They're 0-5 against Spurrier. And not only it's your rival, they've been as good as them. So you think they'd win 1 or 2, and then he rubs it in to make it worse. Well, they are 4-5. They're 1-5 against FSU the last 5 years, and 2 of those they totally outplayed FSU and lost at the last minute.
Still lost, yeah.
The biggest game in home history. Thank you, Caitlin.
Okay, so all the unmentionables drink your beer. So
Oh.
I chose for you.
Okay,
Thank you.
well, that'll work. Thank you very much.
They drank your beer already.
They
Wow,
did.
they drank all the porter.
All right, well, I'm doubling down. I'll be okay.
That's all right.
It's all right. Don't worry
But
about it.
so I mean, they have those things going, and they lost the biggest game days there in history last year, and they're embarrassed. Well, let's face it, it was a emasculating loss.
Emasculating is right. They were humiliated, embarrassed in a way that resonates for many years to come.
But is there a more beaten-up fan base in college football right now than them? Is there anybody who is, actually they're a decent program, but I mean, to have that year in and year out, that happens.
Well, they have heartbreaking losses, but I mean, goodness, it's better to have won a BCS Bowl as they did a year ago and suffer a couple embarrassing losses. I mean, think about it. Imagine you could be Florida, who went 4-8 and just gave up 645 yards to Alabama, not exactly an offensive juggernaut. Or you could be Miami, who gave up well over 300 yards rushing to Nebraska and routinely sucks for the last decade. So, there are 2 fan bases that are thinking that their lot in life on the college football stage is worse than that of Clemson's, who wins 10 games a year and it goes to a BCS Bowl. I mean, Florida's 4-8 season is one that we'll be thinking about for many years to come, and their coach is likely going to get fired, and Will Muschamp, he's an embarrassment to them and their alumni. And now you have, again, Miami, who's just a yearly average commodity in the ACC, never having represented the Coastal Division in an ACC championship game despite being here for 10 years.
But you left left out the one thing. Every time Miami comes up, you talk about what Duke did them last year.
Over 200 yards rushing. Yeah, that's...
You left that out.
Yeah,
every time you brought that up.
Well, but Duke will get that chance to
this week,
do it again.
How great is that? They're going to go down to Miami and punk them again.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, Duke should be in the top 25, but we'll see. Yeah, Miami is just kind of an also-ran in football these days, is what we're saying. So at least Clemson is notable.
But Clemson is not getting blown out. It's
choking away a game you had,
self-destructing over.
And
the funny thing is, you mentioned last year, which was a great win for them in the ACC beating Ohio State, but they tried to Clemson that game.
They tried to lose that game. They did. Taj didn't actually have one of his great moments. No. But they found a way to win it, and you know, as Dabo will tell you, they won 11 games, the BCS Bowl, and you know all that. He loves pointing out that despite what Spurrier says, they're the first team to win a BCS Bowl.
That was his first statement out of his mouth.
Well, it was the very first thing. You want to talk about a guy who's gotten under your skin. That's the first thing you do is retort to that.
It's not like this is great for my team. This is a fantastic accomplishment. No, it's Spurrier. Yeah, suck it.
And Spurrier's like, well, yeah, that's true. We have beaten them 5 years in a row, but they did win that BCS Bowl. So, yeah, that's
all right. Memory lane, Jeff. This is one of the wacky, wild wins in Doak Campbell Stadium. There's been a lot of them. There's been a lot that have gone against Florida State, but let's stay positive on this. What are some of the memory lane? What's one really tight-fought game that just kind of resonates with you other than this one?
Well, God, any of the all-time games against Florida or Miami in the rivalry history, you and I are old, so we go way back. I mean, you know, 96, the first game, and then we get a rematch and lose that game in the national championship. But yeah, the choke and Doak is pretty high on the list. You know? I don't know how you're going to beat the choke and Doak. I mean,
well, I'm going to go because it's kind of, I think, but FSU really outplayed them in that game. A game when I think FSU was outplayed. I don't even go to that extreme. I don't want to talk about it because it's overtime. Think of that. I will not forget. I don't know why it resonates with me, but the game in 2003, I believe, against NC State, the double overtime.
Well, yeah, Thorpe.
Philip Rivers had one of the best games of a college quarterback I've ever seen. That guy was unbelievable.
Everything was in stride, and he was anticipating passes, and that's why he's had a great NFL career. The guy was really talented. You're right. That was a crazy game, and in fact, that statistic was brought up the other night during the game against Clemson about overtimes, and the last time that we had one at Doak. I mean, the previous overtime game was against Penn State in the Orange Bowl, and that was an ugly damn game. But the game. But
this one they were making plays back and forth. The other one, that Orange Bowl, nobody could make a kick in that game. It was awful. But
the uprights,
back and forth with Philip Rivers, that was a lot of fun. Leon getting the winning touchdown every time Leon contributes.
And you know, there's been weird moments too in games that we should not have struggled in that found a way to win. You know, I think back to Greg Reed's game against Maryland and how ridiculous it was. We had to pull that out. 30,000 empty seats. People could run stadium steps in Mickey Andrews' last game, and that was brutal. But it was memorable in that we came back and won it. So, I think I tend to be like you. I lean towards all the great rivalry games and the moments in time where you just didn't think it was going to happen that day. I mean, when we beat Florida with the Rooster.
That 98. That's a really good one. You're right.
That never happened.
And I forgot Marquand Manuel. I will never forget that play when he jumps up and the game's over.
Well, he's got it. It's a pick six.
And it's worse thing, not only do you not get the pick,
it ends up being a big play.
It bounced out of your hands and goes into Peter Warwick. And as soon as he caught that ball, you saw all of Florida's defense freeze like, oh, my God.
Yeah, that was a game that you had no business winning and found a way to win. So that's high on my list, too.
And you beat Spurrier, too, back in the day.
That was always fun. He never
there's some couldn't
win here. Old Steve couldn't win here.
But it's nice that we kind of own Clemson now, so
well, we better because I think the next 3 years are going to be a little difficult.
I'm worried about Deshaun Watson. I'm very worried about him.
He's for real. Yeah.
Yeah. Next year you worry a little bit. You got to go there. You're losing.
Well, next year you're going to need Clemson to Clemson because they're going to be a better team than we are next year. I do believe.
I think
at the quarterback position
can be really good, but offensively, assuming Jameis goes, that
you lose your entire offensive line, which isn't playing real well right now.
It's going to be a little iffy. All right. When we come back, Jeff, we're going to hit the bar for the bar segment, and we're going to vote on game day signs. We got 5 ones we've nominated for the ultimate prize. We're going to have the unmentionables contribute to this.
Okay, I like it. Let's do it.
All right, next on the Warchant Man Cave Show, sponsored by Jimmy John's.
Hello, Jimmy John's. Hurry.
Jimmy John's.
That's fast.
Jimmy John's, freaky fast delivery.
Welcome back to the Warchant Man Cave Show. We are brought to you by Jimmy John's, Freaky Good and Freaky Fast, with 6 locations in Tallahassee. In this segment, brought to us by the Corner Pocket. And that's a great place if you want to go watch the game, or you want NFL, college, the Vegas Wall. And I will be there, Jeff. I know you won't be there, unfortunately, but I will be there this Saturday. Looking forward to
have a good time,
watching the game. I always do at the Corner Pocket. Great times.
It is
and you can get Caitlin as your server if you're lucky enough back there. Thank you.
I'll wait on you.
Now, it was always fun having game day in Tallahassee, let's face it. It's a college football tradition. It's wonderful to have, and they love Tallahassee, apparently. And the best part are the signs, Jeff. And there were some we can't talk about, but there were some very good ones. And I know there's one that you lobbied all week out on there. Now, we're going to have, we want our unmentionables. We usually don't mention them or involve them, but we're going to get their input on this one. We're going to vote on the best college game day sign. You saw it. You can look on Tom's monitor there if you want to see what we're talking about. Let's start, Jeff, with number 1. I'm not gonna like be biased or get some input. I like this one a lot, and it is the Paul Feinbaum 60-year-old virgin sign. I don't know if you guys have seen that one. You can look on Tom's monitor there on Mentionables. All right, they're all going to walk up. Don't step on the wires, please. Watch the wires because they are sensitive. All right, they're all looking at that. All right. Number 2, Sean McGuire needs our help. This is the one Jeff lobbied for.
Yeah, that's right.
All week
was
long.
Good. Yeah, and people did.
And I think we got the Princess Leia version on there instead of that's not a bad one.
Instead of like the handwritten sort of
Now the number 3 is the Doak Dynasty. It's got Jimbo, Jameis, everybody wearing the beards from Duck Dynasty. I thought very well done. And now my just personal favorite, even though I did like the other one, is the Mark May scoreboard, number of arrests.
That's going to be number
1. I think they're a little biased on this one. Number of arrests between Jameis Winston and Mark May, who went off on him, despite the fact the scoreboard says 3-0 in favor of
the arrest for Mark May.
And the last one I know is Tom's favorite, and that's the Dabo Sweeney Frosties, the Frosty face.
And well, and then didn't underneath that is that he likes them or we like them? Yeah. They use that. That's the Jimbo quote we use on the show. So
all right. So let's go through this. I think we already know what they're going to do. Number 1, Paul Feinbaum, 6-year-old version. Let's hear it. Unmentionables. No cheers.
No.
Wow. Okay.
Mark May's going to win. You can see.
Sean McGuire needs your help. Nothing.
Pretty good one, man.
Doak Dynasty. All right. Mark May scoreboard. We don't even need to bring up Frosties. We know that one. And I understand. I agree.
Sure, they're tired of it. I mean, we've been a punching bag for a while, and some of it has been completely off balance, and so it's frustrating.
Yeah, we get it. So, overwhelmingly, congrats to that guy. And if he wants to, I will tell him what, if he emails me, if he watches the Man Cave. A year membership.
Woo,
and I've seen him, and someone did a little write-up on the guy and all that. And so, I mean, you go ahead, young man, I'm proud of you. You did good by yourself.
Done,
so you've won the Warchant Award. Now, NC State this weekend, Jeff, and there's some very ugly memories in Carter Finley.
Man, brutal.
But this is, and I like to talk about these fans in this place. It's kind of like, you think about it, they got Duke, they got Wake, they got UNC.
Right.
They're kind of the redheaded stepchild of their state. They're the other side of the tracks. They're angry, they're mean, they're nasty. And they apparently like to urine a lot in their stadium. We talked about that last year.
Yeah, it's a urine-soaked endeavor to take it to Carter Finley. They do have a problem peeing on each other.
They've been sanctioned before, and their own student bodies come out to try to curb all the urination going on in Carter Finley.
There's a big article written about people peeing on each other at Carter Finley. That's a tough go right there. You know, the imminent threat of being pissed on has got to be very frustrating for the average fan. I'm just saying.
And I love we got some gifts here and some pictures of some of their fans, and I love there's one, Jeff. I don't know if you've seen it. No, not the peeing. We don't put that. This is a family show. We don't put that on there. But there's three fat guys that have Wolfpack on their chest all across, and they're proudly dancing around wearing it. And then, as you know, what they do is NC State's being blown out at home. Slowly, they're trying to wipe it off. Very embarrassing. They're trying to wipe off.
Shave, like wiping the paint on their bellies. Yeah, that's always good. No, that place, by the way, has been really hard on us, though. I mean, that's you talked about some weird games there. You and I were at a charity function.
Yeah, that's right.
At the Car Museum the night that was it Ty Jones? Was that the night?
Yeah, that was a Ty Jones, Christian Ponder fumble play.
Brutal, man. I'm still angry about that. I remember uttering, much the way Jameis did, an expletive that I shouldn't have in the company of people that were there.
Without the sexual connotation.
No, there was none of that. It was just an MF and a GD, and It ended up being, but there were donors there for this charitable cause, and I was dropping F-bombs. That's not what you do. But that's what Carter Finley brings out of us at times. It won't this time, right?
It's just no. It will not. I'm not the least. But there's no Russell Wilson there. There's none of that kind of stuff going on there.
Yeah, pretty good.
It is. I mean, on the whole, let's rank the ACC. Let's not exclude Miami because they really don't have fans, so we're not going to include them. But in terms of the other fan bases, is the NC State the worst fan base, you think, in terms of like the home experience and how they deal with people? I mean, you've been to pretty much every ACC school.
Yeah, I've been to most of all the venues. I don't know why, and this sounds strange, and Tom will back me up on this, and maybe it's just because of my 4 or 5 experiences that this has happened, but I have never had a good time at Georgia Tech, man.
Yeah, they're nasty.
Just nasty and frustrated.
Well, they're sexually frustrated engineering students. There's no women on campus.
I mean, just a lot of aggravation, weird inferiority complex, and they just really...
They're right up there. I see them at NC State. I put them in the tie. And I remember the last time again, we're talking about infamous running backs, the Marcus Sims fumble. We always bring up these lost decade running backs. But I remember at that game looking up and being on the sideline, looking up, and the marching Chiefs are being pelted with all kind of materials and excrement and everything else.
I'm going with Georgia Tech then. That's what I mean.
I'm going to go with NC State, but I mean, I got to say Georgia Tech. You're right. I think they're right up there with them.
Now, if we were saying, in all honesty, looking at a bigger picture thing, you would have to say Miami.
But they don't have.
The fans they do
when they start winning and they show up.
Right, yeah. And their fans didn't go to the school, and so
Yeah, it's a different kind of hate from Miami.
Kind of hate
But they're okay. Well, Jeff, we're going to conclude the segment, but I know one thing we're going to start doing here, and I'm going to challenge you to the 40-yard dash.
Oh, okay.
So we're not today. I'm getting people excited. Now I know you have some hamstring problems, so we'll get you good and loose.
I'll get good and loose.
Getting you good and loose before we're going to start doing some. We're going to challenge in the next couple of weeks. We're going to do a game of horse.
Okay, I'm going to win that too.
Oh, okay. The guy who talked crap about the golf last year and lost
that's all right.
last game.
I will do that. That's all right.
And we're doing a little chipping contest because I hear your short game is legendary.
I don't know if that's the case. No. But I will gladly partake. That sounds like fun. We haven't gotten outside.
Yeah, let's get outside and enjoy it a little bit here.
Sure,
and
I'm in.
We do. Unfortunately, we got the pool. I don't know if we could do a little water polo or something. That'd be fun, but that might be stretching a little bit.
Yeah, probably. And it's starting to get chilly.
We got the heater in the pool though, so we're good there.
Okay. Look at this guy. Freaking heater in the pool.
All right, that wraps up the Corner Pocket segment here at the Warchant Man Cave Show. We got the Papa Shot back out. We're going to do a little It's a little early for basketball, but we're going to break it out and have some of that next.
Hamilton's on a roll recruiting,
That's
buddy.
right, man. Look at this class.
How about
4 big timers. And I think this is 7'4", the tallest guy that I think someone said they've ever had in school.
Top 3 class here in the nation at Syracuse.
Giddy up. I think that train is starting to roll again,
Here we
Jeff.
go. Choo-choo, baby.
We'll be back in the Warchant Man Cave Show.
What's not to love about the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill? The Corner Pocket is Tallahassee's home for the best of the sports world. NFL, NCAA, MLB, and NBA. The games are always on. The food is always fresh, and the drinks are always cold. And now games are even bigger and brighter with the Corner Pocket's new state-of-the-art Vegas wall, featuring 8 brilliant 55-inch HD TVs showing the biggest games. Whatever the season, check out the Corner Pocket's Microbar, serving up the freshest craft brews for you and your friends. Be sure to drop in for Beer Bingo Tuesdays, weekly dart tournaments, daily poker tournaments, and Saturday sit-and-goes. From golden tea to garnet and gold, the Corner Pocket has everything inside its bar and outside on the full-service deck. Before the game, call and ask about tailgate and party specials. The Corner Pocket will serve up your favorite foods hassle-free. Call 850-574-2724. That's 574-2724. The Corner Pocket has it all. Drop by for happy hour today. You'll see why Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket. What's not to love?
Welcome to the Warchant Man Cave Show, and we are doing basketball challenge today. And we've got our defending champion, Dawn, over here, and Christian from Corner Pocket, Jimmy John, sorry, buddy. And they're going to play here, and Jeff and I will go off, and the winner will take the prize here. So, guys, go ahead and hit the play button, and hit it one more time, and then you go. All right, Jeffrey, before these guys, we'll watch them, see who wins.
All right.
Most overrated, biggest fraudulent team in the top 25 right now.
Most fraudulent team in the top 25 right now. That's a good call, Gene. I didn't think about this question. UCLA.
That's not. I know you've been not a big.
I didn't think they were any good to start the year. I still don't.
I'm going to say not that they're not top 25, but I think the Oregon fraud is perpetuating again, as it always does every year. I mean, how many years in a row have they been like, everybody's all enamored they're in the top 2 or 3 every year, and they fall flat on their face when they play a decent team? They had to squeak by Washington State. What winner we got here? Don again.
However, 38-31 against Washington State, you make a good point, but that win against Michigan State was a good win for them. They come back in that game, they end up winning that game by 19 points.
But it's Big Ten. Come on.
Well, it is, but that's a Big Ten team that's like the one that we think is pretty.
But they're going to do this every year. They're going to just get get exposed again because they have a one-dimensional offensive team and they don't play defense and they're just.
That's typically the case.
But they have to. I mean, everybody needs a West Coast team to be good, so that's why they jump on their bandwagon and they play an exciting brand of football. They wear the wacky. I like I don't know if Tom's got it, but there's one that says something like 2,000-something uniform changes and zero
national championships.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah. Well, they don't win the line of scrimmage, and that's the biggest problem they have. I actually think they're kind of good for college football, and they're a lot of fun. But are we playing? But they
not yet. But let's ready.
Boom on the fade. But they.
Oh, it is going. Oh.
Yeah, no, you're losing.
Whoa.
Oh, wait a minute, I got a beer in my hand. What are we doing here? Hey, look, you can't be.
Okay, we're playing here.
Okay, we're playing. What you got? Oh.
Hey, you're playing defense. Right out of Leonard Hamilton there.
I'm playing with one hand is the problem.
All right, I'm sure they're very entertained by this, but
yeah, no, we could. Thank you, sir.
Too bad.
So we should probably.
Oh, it's 3-pointer time. No. Oh, it's the game winner there. Woohoo!
So anyhow.
All right, Jeffrey, you're going to do picks here.
Yeah, let's do them.
You do picks, and I have Don. You got to defend your title, buddy.
All right, the picks.
You're defending title. You pick your side.
You're going down like Clemson.
Pick your side. Oh.
The aforementioned, you got to listen to the picks.
All right.
Aforementioned UCLA Bruins -3.5 against Arizona State on Thursday night.
I'm picking UCLA because you like them. Oh, it's going.
What do you got?
I got UCLA.
South Carolina -5.5 against Mizzou.
Hey! Give me Spurs. Give me the Spurs. Man, he's playing some tight defense
Clemson
here.
-14.5 against North Carolina. North Carolina, who, by the way, gave up 4,000 yards last week. We're going to go ahead and
give me Carolina, baby.
Really?
Yes.
Plus the 14.5?
I like the hook.
This guy.
I like the hook.
Miami -7 versus State.
Kill me on the defense.
Notre Dame. You're like breathing heavy. Notre Dame -12.5 against Syracuse. Notre Dame over Syracuse will agree.
Notre Dame.
Florida State -19 against NC State.
Both of us have mortgage on that one. Biggest fraud.
I'm not betting the mortgage, man.
Come on, man.
We got injuries. We're coming up in
Presbyterian. I know. They needed a late score to beat Georgia Southern, although they're a little pesky. Georgia Southern's a pesky club.
Yeah.
I ain't buying it, though. FSU's going to win by 30 in that one.
Good, sir.
Jeffrey, thank you.
Guys, thank you.
John's Corner Pocket. And
take care, everybody.
Congrats to Don defending his title. Good night, folks.